Hi everybody, thanks for watching. So what I'm going to talk about today is one of the most hot button topics when it comes to flying a drone, and that's flying your drone at night. And what I'm going to share with you is my 5 essential tips when it comes to flying at night, from the legality of it all the way up to some of the best settings to use. So let's get to it. Okay, so first of all, I have 3 disclaimers that I'd like to mention. First of all, everything that I'm about to tell you in this video has to do with the rules in the United States of America. And so if you live out of the country, just be sure to research your own rules and regulations. Secondly, everything that I'm going to say also applies to just about every drone, at least every DJI drone, but it's going to apply to a lot of other drones as well. But I'm going to use the Mavic Air for demonstration. And then the third thing that I have to mention, if you guys have just an uncontrollable urge to post negative comments or toxic comments, just know that everything that I'm going to tell you is correct. It is the law as of right now, May 2018. Now, the rules may change a little bit, and if they do, I'll change it in the description. But if you feel compelled to comment negatively down below, just please, I ask you respectfully to do a little research yourself first before you fire off a rebuttal to everything I say today. So the first question that needs to be answered is, can you fly your drone at night? And the answer very simply is yes, you can. See, if you're flying as a recreational pilot or a hobbyist, then there's no special rules that you have to follow other than the rules put forth by whatever community-based organization you might be following. For instance, the AMA. Now, just on a side note, there are other community-based organizations besides the AMA, and I'm going to put a link in the description for a couple of them that I know of. Now, if you're flying as a Part 107 pilot or commercial pilot, then if you want to fly at night, you have to get what's called a night waiver. If you're a Part 107 pilot with a remote pilot certificate, then you can only fly 30 minutes before sunrise and 30 minutes after sunset. Otherwise, you need a night waiver. Now, you'll notice that I said when flying as a hobbyist or flying as a Part 107 pilot. And if you guys get anything out of this video, I want this to be the biggest takeaway. And that's for those of you who have your Part 107, or if you get your Part 107, you can still fly as a hobbyist, as a recreational pilot. You just have to determine before you fly, or even as you're flying, if this is a commercial flight or is this a recreational flight. So if you want to fly at night and you're not going to be making any money from the footage that you're getting, then you certainly can fly at night as a hobbyist. But if you're going to be making revenue from that footage that you're obtaining, then you need a Part 107 and you need a night waiver. So I know I'm overstressing that a little bit, but I want you guys to understand that because I'm currently studying for my Part 107 right now. I should have it in about, hopefully in about a month, but maybe 2 months from now. And the reason that it took me so long to study for it and to obtain it is because I previously thought, like I think many of you are thinking, that if you get your Part 107 that you're going to be put on a leash by the FAA, and there's a lot of things that you won't be able to do, but that's not true. You only have to follow those regulations if you are flying for making money. If you're flying recreationally, then you're flying as a hobbyist under Section 336, and there's nothing special that you have to do other than follow those community-based organization guidelines. When most people get their remote pilot certificate or their Part 107, you know, they're looking to get it because they want to make some revenue with their drones. They want to become a commercial pilot at some point. And that's maybe a little bit of the reason that I'm studying for it and that I want to get it. But the biggest reason that I want to do it is because I want to be the best pilot that I can. I want to learn as much as I can, and I want to fill this brain full of lots of good, juicy information. And then when you guys ask me questions, I don't have to research it. I don't have to look it up. I already know it. And so, you know, yes, I maybe want to make some money with my drone someday, but for the most part, I want to give myself some validity and give you guys some security in the information that I present to you actually means something. Now, my second tip for you guys is know your surroundings. Know the area that you're going to be flying at night. You know, it's really important to know your surroundings when you're flying during the day, but it's even more important at night because you're not going to be able to see any obstacles. So you need to scout out the area first. And the other reason is when you fly at night, you have to turn off your obstacle avoidance because it doesn't work anyway. And when you turn off obstacle avoidance, there's going to be a lot of obstacles that your drone might not be able to avoid or stop or go around or whatever, depending on your drone. And so if that obstacle avoidance is off, also your drone is going to be in sport mode. You're going to be flying much faster. You're going to be turning much faster. Your yaw and your elevation and descending, everything is faster. And so it's really important to know where you are flying and what's around where you are flying. Isn't that thing cool? Third thing that I like to mention is how important it is to keep visual line of sight when you're flying your drone. Now we have to do that during the day, and that's according to every rule across every community-based organization as well as the FAA. We have to maintain visual line of sight. And there's been a lot of arguments out there that people say it's irresponsible and dangerous to fly at night because how can you maintain visual line of sight? Well, I'd like to tell you guys that you can see your drone much better at night than you can during the day. You can see those LED lights from a long ways away, at least on my Mavic Air and my Mavic Pro. And I've seen Phantom 4s up in the sky at night, and those lights are even easier to see than both of my Mavics. And so when someone asks, how can you keep visual line of sight? Well, that's how. Those LED lights show you the orientation of the drones at all times. Now, I've taken it even a step further, and I got a set of LED lights, some aftermarket LED lights for my Mavic Air. Hobby in RC actually sent me a set of these, and I already had a set that I bought from Amazon, but these things are super bright, and there's no worrying about knowing where your drone is at night if you're using those things. They're really easy to install, and they're pretty lightweight. They don't cause any trouble flying your drone. They have no effect on dynamics. They have no effect on battery life. I flew for 17 minutes last night, and that's kind of what I get with my Mavic Air anyway. And it was a pretty windy night as well, and so I thought that was pretty good. So I have 2 sets of these lights for my Mavic Air. I don't need 2 sets, and so I want to give one to one of you guys. And so all you have to do is one simple thing. At the end of this video, I'm going to post in the end screen a video from one of my favorite YouTubers. It's Orange83. He's a video editor, and I've learned so much from him. And he recently went to Iceland for 10 days, and he did a little travel vlog on it, and it has some epic footage in it. He's got a Sony 6500, I think, plus he got some great drone footage, but it's just beautiful footage, and he's great at editing. And check out his stuff. If you like it, go ahead and subscribe, because I have learned a lot, and I think those of you who are trying to get your drone footage, your post-drone footage edited correctly and nicely, then Orange83 is one of the people that's going to help you out. So all I want you to do is watch that video and then let me know down here in the comments that you did watch it. I know it's kind of on the honor system, but just let me know that you watched his video. And in a couple of weeks, I'll go ahead and just pick one of those people randomly, and I'll contact you and then send you these lights from PJY Tech. PJY Tech makes a lot of good stuff. I think Flight Path does a lot of reviews on PJY Tech, and they do create quality stuff. And so, you know, they're not junky. I think they're like $35 or $36 for a set of these. And so they're pretty nice. Now, if you guys are wondering why I'm moving around so much today, it's for a couple of reasons. I decided to go for a walk in the park, and I figured I might as well do my video while I'm here. It's a beautiful day. Actually, it's not that beautiful. It's kind of cloudy, but it is a nice day for a walk, and all the apple trees are blooming in my favorite park in town, and so that's why I'm moving around so much. The other reason is I'm actually just trying to find a little bit of shelter to get out of the wind, because it is pretty windy, and I don't want you guys to have to listen to all that wind noise. So if you're wondering why I'm jumping around, that's why. Now, my 4th tip for you guys when you're flying your drone at night, there's one simple thing that you have to do. You have to go up to your camera settings, and you have to toggle on this little switch that says turn off LEDs while shooting. And what that does, it turns off your front LEDs as soon as you hit the shutter button or the record button. And what that does is it prevents seeing any red or green glows in your footage or in your photos. And if you're not shooting any footage, then your LEDs stay on so you know the orientation of your drone. Now, those lights that I told you about just a little bit ago, those have no effect on your footage, your photos, or your video, as long as they are angled down a little bit, at about like a 30-degree angle. Because if they're angled straight ahead and you're flying very fast, with like at least with your Mavic Air, I don't know about the Mavic Pro or any other drones, but if you're flying with those lights pointing straight ahead, then there is just a little bit of glow on the edges. You can't really tell, but if you look really close, you can see it. But all I had to do was shift those lights down just a little bit, and they had no effect on my footage at all. And the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the best settings, the best camera settings. Now, there is no such thing as best camera settings. If you guys want to go ahead and watch this video right here, there really is no such thing. But you know, every situation is different. And for this situation last night when I was flying, it was a clear sky, it was pretty dark out, and I live kind of on the edge of town, and so there's not many lights. There's not many lights anyway because our town is pretty small. But you know, for this situation, I just played with the ISO and I played with the shutter speed, and that's what I recommend you guys do. But what I found to be best in this situation was an ISO of 1600 and my shutter speed was at 50. And that kind of gave me the most clear picture and less noise in the sky. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is the Mavic Air did much better as far as video footage at night than the Mavic Pro, because the Mavic Pro, I think, has trouble focusing, and you're always tapping, trying to find focus, and it just can't get a focus. But the Mavic Air has a fixed focus, so it does much better at night. At least it did for me. So like I said, just experiment. If you're gonna fly at night, put your drone up and just test out your ISO, test out your shutter speed, you know, maybe do a couple of passes of some of the footage that you're trying to get, and go from there. So that's it for today's video, you guys. I hope you got something useful out of it. Please know that I did research this very well, and you guys can fly your drone at night. Don't be afraid to fly at night. It's not dangerous, it's not irresponsible, and you know, if you're following the rules that you're supposed to when you're flying during the day, the same at night, then you should be just fine. Don't forget to watch that video that's gonna pop up here in just a second from Orange83, and then let me know that you did it down in the comments. And finally, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I really welcome you guys to join us. We have a really fun and interactive community. I'm getting to know a lot of you, and I would love to get to know more of you. So go ahead and click on that subscribe button. I want to thank you guys for watching today, and as always, fly safe and fly smart.